I'm Matt Carlins, and this is Just Pro Wrestling News for Saturday, May 15th, 2021. The pro wrestling world is mourning an icon of Extreme Championship Wrestling. New Jack Jerome Young has died. A fearless, aggressive, and controversial performer, New Jack is not easy to summarize. He was a constant during the peak of ECW's national popularity. He was also involved in some of the most notorious incidents of pro wrestling's past quarter century. New Jack rose to national fame in ECW during violent, weapons-filled matches. He won the ECW Tag Team Championship on 3 occasions. After the collapse of ECW, New Jack wrestled for another 20 years, including a brief run during the early years of TNA. New Jack died suddenly on Friday at his home in North Carolina. New Jack Jerome Young was 58.
Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling presents Under Siege tonight. It's an Impact Plus exclusive show starting at 8 p.m. Eastern with a double main event. Impact World Champ Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus the Impact Tag Team Champions Finjuice alongside Eddie Edwards, plus a 6-way number 1 contender match for Omega's championship. Chris Bay versus Chris Sabin versus Matt Cardona versus Moose versus Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel. There are 3 title matches on tonight's card. Josh Alexander defends his X Division Championship against New Japan's El Phantasmo. Knockouts champ Deonna Purrazzo faces a challenge from Havoc, and Fire and Flava get their rematch against the Knockouts tag champs Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering. A 4-way will decide the new number 1 contender for the Impact tag titles, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Triple XL versus Rohit Raju and Shera versus TJP and Petey Williams. Plus, W. Morrissey versus Willie Mack, Brian Myers versus Black Taurus, and Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood versus Kimberly and Susan.
WWE.
WWE presents its WrestleMania Backlash show on Sunday. That's a 7 p.m. Eastern start time on Peacock and the WWE Network. 5 title matches are announced. Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Cesaro. WWE Champ Bobby Lashley defending in a 3-way against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Bianca Belair's first defense of the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bayley. Rhea Ripley puts her Raw Women's title on the line in a 3-way against Charlotte Flair and Asuka. Rey and Dominic Mysterio go after the SmackDown Tag titles, held by Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Plus, Damian Priest versus The Miz in a lumberjack match. New champions were crowned on last night's SmackDown. Natalya and Tamina ended Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler's 104-day reign as WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. For Tamina, this is only the 2nd time she's held championship gold. She had a seconds-long reign as 24/7 champion. Roman Reigns interrupted last night's main event between Cesaro and Jimmy Uso. Jimmy was not happy with Reigns about that. Rey Mysterio used a small package to pin Dolph Ziggler. King Corbin reversed an armbar to pin Shinsuke Nakamura, and after the match, Nakamura stole King Corbin's crown.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
On last night's New Japan Strong, Team Filthy won an 8-man elimination tag in the main event. It was Chris Dickinson sealing the win for Team Filthy, but after the match, Team Filthy turned on Dickinson. This is in retaliation for Dickinson publicly challenging Lawler to defend the Strong Openweight Championship against him. Dickinson eliminated Clark Connors to seal the win. Connors is a young lion no longer. He debuted new ring gear and his own entrance theme. By the way, Carl Fredericks was the one to eliminate Lawler from that match. Also on last night's show, Fred Rosser and Leo Rush beat El Phantasmo and Hikuleo. Rush pinned ELP.
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor is bringing back its Survival of the Fittest tournament. It was last held back in 2018. A series of matches will culminate in a multi-man elimination match where the winner will get a shot at the ROH World Championship. The tournament will be shown on ROH TV starting next month.
AEW.
AEW announced Friday it's added Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus The Acclaimed to next Wednesday's Dynamite. That's Just Pro Wrestling News for Saturday, May 15th. Please rate, review, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.